Hi everyone, it's Leela with Miss Kiss Creations. Welcome back to my channel. Today's tumbler tutorial, I'm going to show you how I created this glittered vinyl wrap tumbler. Like always, all of my materials will be posted in my description below, including some direct links and coupon codes. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. The vinyl I'm using to place on the tumbler today is from Vinyl Cottage. I'm using pastel blue and purple flowers number 9. I placed the vinyl on my vinyl cutter and I cut the vinyl into pieces, not measuring it. I just cut random size pieces because I'm placing this vinyl on this tumbler and another tumbler. I'm using a 14-ounce tumbler for this project, and I am placing my vinyl right onto the tumbler after I prepped it. I'm placing the vinyl on using the hinge method, so I cut a piece of my backing off, and then I applied that sticky part of the vinyl onto my tumbler, and then I let that backing peel off of that vinyl as I'm pressing that vinyl onto the tumbler like so. This is a very easy method. Take your time with this. You can use a squeegee to get rid of any of the bubbles or air bubbles underneath the vinyl, and just slowly wrap around your tumbler with the vinyl. And once all of my vinyl was placed on the tumbler, I took some painter's tape and I covered all of the vinyl with the painter's tape. I'm going to add some paint and some glitter, so I did not want any of that paint or glitter to be added to the vinyl area. I'm using Lavender Haze from Pop of Color and applying that all over my stainless steel part. I'm using this paint as adhesive for my glitter, so make sure when you add the glitter to the tumbler, you're adding the glitter while the paint is still wet. I do not allow my paint to dry. I apply my glitter right over the wet paint. I'm using Whimsical Bliss from Glitter Heart Co. and applying that purple glitter right over that wet paint in all the areas, making sure I'm getting that glitter all over the wet paint areas, including the bottom. Keep in mind, if you are going to use this specific glitter, it is transparent, which is why I chose that purple background. And once all of my glitter was placed on my tumbler, I immediately removed that painter's tape. You want to make sure that you are removing that painter's tape while the paint is still wet and not dry. You may risk peeling up some dry paint if you remove that painter's tape too late. And once all the tape was removed from the tumbler, I let that paint dry for about 25 minutes, and then I sprayed it with my Krylon Crystal Clear acrylic coating, and then letting that dry for about 25 minutes as well. And the next step was going in with epoxy. I did create another tumbler using this vinyl, which is what you see on the screen. I used about 10 to 15 milliliters of epoxy for this small tumbler. It was very easy epoxying it. I made sure to epoxy the entire tumbler, and then I went in with another glitter from Glitter Heart Co., Winter Frost, and I added that all around the tumbler. I made sure to add a lot of that glitter on top of the purple glitter, and then I took my finger and I sprinkled a little bit over the vinyl just to give that vinyl area a little bit of sparkle. Once I added all the glitter to the tumbler, I then let my tumbler spin on the cup turner for 4 hours. I then turned off my cup turner. Then I let my tumbler air dry or air cure for another 20 hours, leaving my total drying time of 24 hours. You want to make sure that you are letting your epoxy cure before moving on to the next step. And once my tumbler's epoxy was completely cured, I went in with a 120 grit sanding block and I sanded around the tumbler, making sure to get rid of any of those bumps that may have added on the tumbler, and then I sanded the rim of my tumbler as well. I then took my 91% alcohol and I wiped around my tumbler, removing any excess oil or any sanding dust that may have added to the tumbler. I then went in with some vinyl that I created on Cricut Design Space. All I did was add a square to Cricut Design Space, and then I created some rectangles from the square. The rectangles measure about 0.20 by 9 inches, and then I created some smaller rectangles and I added those on top of the bigger rectangles. So I have light blue on the bottom, and then I have purple on top of the light blue. I thought these two colors went really well with that vinyl. I then took my quick coat from CCDIY and I applied that on the vinyl areas. This allows that vinyl to stick to the tumbler and not rise whenever you apply the epoxy over the vinyl. The quick coat takes about 10 to 15 minutes to dry, and once it was dry, I took about 10 to 15 milliliters of epoxy and I applied that all over the tumbler. I then let my tumbler spin on this cup turner for the same amount of time as I did originally, making sure that epoxy was completely cured before my tumbler was finished. And before adding the lid to my tumbler, I clean up the inside, and I also took an X-Acto knife and I cut any of that excess epoxy that may have been placed on the rim. And here is my final tumbler. This tumbler is so cute and it was so simple to make. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial as much as I enjoyed creating it for y'all. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tumbler and craft videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.